a House Civis broadcasting. Happy Zor to all of our listeners. It feels weird saying that. It's instinctual at this point just to say far.
Once we get through this, I want to go back to the once-a-week show. Thanks to Kevin's meddling, we had to test out our capabilities. I think we've clearly done so at this point in time.
I agree. It's nice not being home, though, but my me time is really limited because of all this.
I would love my you time limited because of all of this.
That was a good one.
Thanks. But we're not here to complain about the new workload.
No, instead, we are doing our first ever broadcasting from the Cogs. Just to see if the Echoers are just as capable from lower districts as they are from the higher ones, right?
Well, let us hope so, or the added security for the march down here was not worth the extra cost.
Plus, we don't really want anybody to miss out on our interview. It's kind of really important. Carralag's one of the most recognizable faces of the race.
Pacha, little gnomish peoples. To all you listeners on the airpass.
I caught neither of those? What was that?
You should have read my dad's book.
No.
Both are covered. A non-traditional greeting of goblins, and then a gargoyle greeting of rock on.
Little mama knows her stuff.
Well, you did teach me a few things when we last met.
Yeah, you were quite the quick learner.
I hate my job.
We're here to talk about the race and how you think you're gonna fare during it. You've done exceedingly well becoming a jockey, but you haven't finished first yet.
Harsh. So many people view the race as who's first and who's last, but the race is more than that.
No, that pretty much sums up the idea of a race. Fastest person across the finish line wins, and that's it, yeah.
No, little bro. That's small thinking. You gotta open your mind. None of that should matter. The race is like life, If it was only about who is fastest and nothing else, we'd all just be timed. That's not life. It's not real. No. We need that real chaos, So we give people crossbows, encourage them to focus on taking others down.
A fair point.
So then, winning is less about you and more about, everything else. Things you can't control or see. So why focus on all that negative outside your scope? The race, like life, should be about being the best you can be. I lost the race because of unavoidable collisions with other racers. But at every moment of that race, I was honed in on my best self. Every wing beat, turn, and dive was in absolute harmony. That's what matters.
Then why even compete? You could just fly around the city at your leisure instead of going through all this trouble.
To represent people that feel forgotten, When I first put out the word that I was going to do this, it created a wellspring of joy within the places that don't have a lot of reason to smile in the day-to-day. It felt like I was making a difference in my own small way just by doing what I loved.
I think it's easy to say that the people of Fallen have been, they've gone through a lot lately.
Yeah, and they've been left behind by the city. We should strive to do better and welcome them back into the fold, instead of pushing more and more broken people into that district.
Well, we have been discussing going over more details of Fallen, but today we are here to talk about the race.
I got you, bro. I got you. It's just, I get worked up thinking about it sometimes.
It's a very noble quality.
Thanks, Nomad.
I just noticed that we haven't had the jockey actually come out here. They're sitting in their own private room. We haven't done a jockey and mount yet. Do you want to introduce us?
Oh, for sure. That's Ta'Karduur. They're a goblin and a fellow soul glider like myself. I met her in the Grey Walls. She was tied to a kite by an ogre who was using them for a bit of fun. But Ta'Karduur felt the wind and rode it. It was a most impressive display. Ta, come on over.
It's a pleasure to...
That is a potent scent you're wearing.
Thank you. I've been building the musk all month.
It is an odd choice.
It smells like a petting zoo if they fed all the animals old clams.
It smells like the grist cart outside caught fire.
No, it smells like a pile of manure if the manure was sick.
Yeah, they've been avoiding bathing for the race. I could choose not to smell, so I just block it out. But those other animals are going to get a full nose, and it's going to throw them off their game.
It has a weird, burning, stinging quality. It smells like an Atiel got sucked under the lightning rail.
A zombie full of Mage Ripper fart.
I hate it.
And the other racers will too. They're going to avoid us and give us the advantage. When they cluster together, the air diverts our way and will push us through some of those tight turns.
That makes a lot of sense. Use your ability to make tighter quarters shorten the race path to get ahead.
Now, I did have a question for the both of you. All of the other jockeys wear a harness as well as carrying featherfall tokens for extra protection. Your harness is less of a way to secure you to Carralag, but a rope tied around each other's waists.
Oh yeah, it's so he can throw me.
Oh, that's so... Wait, what?
Little guy likes to fly, you know. Got a few tricks up our sleeve this year, and throwing taut is one of them. Just, like yeet.
But you'd be without a rider.
That's where the harness comes in, yeah? If I miss or something happens, Kara just pulls me back in.
I can't argue with that logic.
And that's why we fly for Fallen. And the gate. Gonna be a smooth win.
So, just to surmise, your plan is, while you're in the midst of racing, to whip this goblin at other competitors in hopes of somehow disorienting them and possibly knocking them off the race?
Yeah.
And then have her dangle from a rope attached to you while you're flying at top speeds between various towers and obstacles.
Right on.
And are you preventing the other racers from touching her?
Because of the noxious stench, exactly.
Yeah, just absolutely flawless thing to hear, yeah.
The smell is starting to hurt my head.
Mine too. So I think that does it for this broadcasting. Our next one will be from another exciting location somewhere across Sharn.
Hopefully a Tarasco enclave. I could use a tonic for my head. Do you think they could take away my ability to smell?
You don't want this to be the last thing you smell. I think we probably have to burn our clothes, though.
I can't give up my signature style.
Take care to all our listeners. Good luck to all of you.
And keep an ear out for those echoes of hope.
Hearing is the only sense I think that is not affected at this time. My eyes are actively watering.
I think my skin is literally covered in, like garbage grease.
It is a smell that you can taste, and I want it to go away.
Like I licked a skunk's butthole.